We're doing your episode.
I know, but I got you doing it this time.
Oh, you mixed it up.
I changed it up a bit. This is why I need to read the script, lady.
All right. Collating my script here. Whether it makes you laugh, cry, scream, or fly, there's a song for every emotion. We're Priya and Mike, and we talk about the songs that make up the soundtrack to your life. Because life, it's in the lyrics.
Well, hello and welcome to Life is in the Lyrics, the podcast where Priya and I talk about life and songs, lyrics, the stuff that music, that are...
You lost your train of thought there already.
Yeah.
We just got started.
I know, it's because I'm not reading the script. Anything... Well, hello and welcome to Life is in the Lyrics.
Take 2. Snap.
Well, hello and welcome to Life is in the Lyrics.
Oh, goodness.
The podcast where Priya and I talk about life and songs, lyrics, anything musical that remind us of moments, experiences, emotions, all the crazy shit that makes us feel alive. And in addition to all that banter, every episode we will read listeners' Life in the Lyrics submissions.
Yeah, so be sure to email us at lifeisinthelyrics@gmail.com. Or if you're like, a social media person, you can DM us. That means direct message.
Oh, look at you.
For the grannies in the house, that's mom, on IG at The Little Podcast. So that's the LIITL podcast. That's us, The Little Podcast.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
Thanks, Priya.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Grabbing my water. Ooh.
Okay, already?
Yeah.
We've been talking for 2 minutes and he
No,
needs water.
I know.
Such a prima donna.
Me thirsty.
It's too bad that Dawn's name is Dawn. If your name was Dawn, I could always say, hey, prima donna.
Maybe I should use that on Don.
Yes. Is he a prima donna?
Maybe. Well, will he listen to this episode?
Well,
I would say...
Let me ask you this. Have you read his books?
I've tried. I really have tried. It's hard. There are a lot of words. Okay, so I did try.
There are a lot of words? Is that what you said?
There are a lot of words. I know what the words mean independently, but when
Yeah.
they're put in the order
Yeah.
that he puts them in,
Yep.
it's a level of writing that doesn't connect with
I get it, because
my
it's
brain.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Though, we're doing our own philosophizing in a way on this podcast, talking about the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, because in the years that Dawn and I have been together,
Yeah.
whenever people try and say, oh, they have a philosophy of something or they're philosophizing, it really rubs the philosophy academics the wrong way.
Does he become a prima donna then?
Then he becomes prima donna.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that we've coined a term for him now.
Okay, so I will have to figure out a way to use that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use that.
Maybe one day, casually, I'll start talking about my thoughts on philosophy.
Oh, that would be
what
great.
He says.
Oh, you know what I should do? I should lend you his book, like one of the books he's published.
Well, I always do need something to read to help me go to bed, and I feel like that would do it. It's sweet.
Okay, well, we'll give that a try. So outside of slamming my husband, how are you doing? Because it's been a couple of weeks.
Yes.
We didn't get to record last week.
We didn't get to record last week.
Why?
Because I was overwhelmed. I am doing a lot of work with a client here. That
In
sounds
Toronto?
So profesh. I like how that sounds. I have this real big fancy corporate client and I'm like doing so many events with them. And I got a little bit lost because I was doing 5 events during the week.
Oh.
2 each on 2 days.
How
so
much
it was just a lot.
planning? Like how much planning goes in, and how long are these events?
They
each
range.
day?
So we do like some lunch time events that are an hour each, but there's a half-hour setup, half-hour teardown. So that's 4 days a week.
And this is, sorry to interrupt, but this is like Google kind of corporate fun, like they have
Google, I think, already
beer.
has kind of a culture of fun. They build that into their work environment. They were one of the first to do that, right?
This is a company that's trying to build that?
Every company is now trying to build that
Yeah,
in.
but I could have swore I've read articles about how that actually is not what.
And they're probably right, but 5 years ago the science was saying, or all the articles were saying, we got to make it more welcoming. Especially because COVID.
The post-pandemic trying to fill those offices, so trying to entice. Is it working?
Well, let me tell you that after I finished at our session today, which was a workshop on expressive drawing, which was really funny because
Are there nude people involved? in
No,
this?
no, they're just drawing. They're listening to music and just drawing whatever comes out of them based on the music they're listening to, which is super cool. And
Are they
we
doing
might
this in their business suit?
No, they don't wear suits. Most of these people don't wear suits, but they're doing it at lunch hour on their, during their workday. But after that session, I went upstairs to talk to somebody else in one of the other rooms, and they were on a floor where they were doing beer tastings, beer and nachos, and then people were playing pool,
ridiculous.
Table tennis.
That
they
is
were watching
ridiculous.
TV.
This is like middle of the day. They're getting paid to drink beer,
but a sample,
and the company
a sample of beer. It's like we do wine tastings there. They get an ounce of wine, like 3 ounces of wine, one of each different sample. They're not getting drunk.
I've seen you on 3 ounces of wine.
I get drunk. They're not getting drunk. That's why they love me there. I'm like, hey, guys. Yeah, so that's why.
Are there any dating prospects?
Well, not so far. They're either like super young or don't.
Okay.
Like even young for me, Mike. Like
wow.
I know. Like that means they're
that
young.
young.
That's young. Or there's a lot of Indian.
You can't say that.
I don't date my own people. And there's a lot of people who don't date their own people. And that's fine. And I don't date them because the men that I have grown up with in my culture, I'm like, nah, I don't need one of those in my life, in my romantic life. Okay. But no dating prospects yet. But, it's early days.
It's early days, and there's a lot of floors in that building.
There's a lot of floors for me to explore.
So outside of being really busy, we didn't get to record last week because you had way too many things on the go.
Yeah.
But what else is going on?
Okay, Mike, so I do have something to ask you later. But first of all, I'm going to say I have some rants prepared, as I do. I love a good rant. Would you like door number 1? Or door number 2 of the rants? Or
can we just
topic.
use one door and maybe you can tell me another door in another episode recording?
Would you like to know my rant about Uber Eats or about my laptop?
Oh, no, you've already talked about your laptop before.
So
let's do the
much.
Uber Eats because I got a rant that goes with that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was at a wine event a couple of months ago. They gave us a lovely dinner. Winemaker was in town from Australia or New Zealand. What's the difference? I'm kidding. It was New Zealand, actually.
Geography. Our strength.
Not my strength. So he was in town, and so we had this lovely dinner, and then they sent us home with a little gift bag, and there was no wine in the gift bag, totally fine, but there was an Uber Eats gift card.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of left that on my dining counter, and then a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I'm too tired to cook. I don't know what to cook. So, I have that Uber Eats gift card. It's $30. I'm like, I could get most of my meal covered in that. So I look through all the, do you see where this is going?
I kind of know where you're going with this.
Oh, my Lord. So first of all, it's like trying to find something on Netflix, right? You spend 20 minutes trying to decide what you want. I go through all of that. I order my stuff. I see the price. And then I'm like, okay, I got to load up my Uber wallet with this gift card. So I go back a step. I load in all the information. So then I see it. I have $30 credit in my Uber wallet. Great. Go to checkout. I see that it says the amount, which is like 42 something. And so I think, okay, $12. That's great. Try to add my money from my Uber wallet. And it's like my total is not changing.
Oh, okay.
My total's not changing. And it says in my payment method, it said Uber wallet plus Visa. And so I'm like, okay, but it's not deducting the $30 from my total. So I don't know if it's actually taking the money off.
Right.
So I'm driving myself crazy doing this. I end up calling.
Out.
So I look up their phone number. First of all, they don't make their phone number easy to find.
No, of course not. Yeah.
My first Google search said, Uber Eats, while Uber Eats does not have a customer service number, we do have lots of help on our website through community, blah, 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 blah. So I try to dig a bit deeper. I eventually do find that they have a phone number. I call her up, and we were on the phone for about 10 minutes. I'm like telling her the whole problem. And long story short, I said, okay, look, can I just press order and you're on the phone with me so you can see that there's money in my wallet. And then if it charges me, then you'll just credit me back. And she said, well, I recommend you take a screenshot. So I did that. And then I pressed click and ordered. And then it did activate my $30. But it doesn't say that anywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the end, I had gone through all of this frustration for really no reason. All they needed to do was add a step into their stupid system.
Just to say this will be deducted once
Thank
you
you.
hit. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I got my goddamn food. I ate it, and I was so mad. I ate it in a fit of rage.
And how long did you have to wait for your food?
I think it was like 30 minutes. It wasn't so bad. Yeah.
That's good. And was it good? Was it worth it?
I can't even remember what I ordered. God damn it. I
You're
blanked
so,
it.
You're
I
so
blanked
livid about the process that
I
you really don't care.
I've erased it from my memory.
Okay, well, I'm gonna lump it in.
Yeah.
My rant is something like this, something about the Uber Eats. Although I can't say for sure that they're all Uber Eats.
Okay.
After our last recording, I was riding my bike home and I got into an accident.
Oh.
Yeah, and went over my handlebars, and the reason why was because, and I came out of the studio, got on my bike, got into the bike lane. And as I was approaching the first stoplight, there were about 9, 10 these cyclist Uber delivery or food delivery people on e-bikes and scooters. And it was like a swarm of them. I was like, what the hell? So I stayed a good car length or two behind them.
Yeah, you kept a safe distance.
And they were all jockeying to get to the front, and it's a red light. And I'm like, where the hell are they going? Like, there's no, but I was like, I'm going to let them go. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cycle another 2 blocks. They're jockeying. They're passing. There's more. I'm like, what the hell? It's so dangerous. They don't know the rules of the road. They cycle dangerously. They speed on those electric bikes and those scooters. So as I'm getting to the next block, I look over my shoulder, and when I turn around, one of them had cut off another Joe Blow cyclist like me in front of me. That guy stops immediately.
Oh, no. Domino effect?
Yeah, total domino effect. And I go flying over my handlebars, land on the sidewalk with I'm gripping my handlebars so tight that I pulled a muscle in my wrist.
You still have your bike in your hands?
Oh, yeah, upside down on top of me. And as I'm approaching the sidewalk, I'm seeing the sidewalk coming, and I'm like, I'm going to hit the sidewalk in my head. I wasn't hurt other than, my wrist. But these fuckers, they just take off like nobody stops.
They don't even give a shit.
No, they don't. They're a menace.
They're an
absolute menace.
They have been talking about bike lanes a lot on the news lately.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. And talking about those bikers specifically, like the food delivery drivers. They're insane.
My view is if you have a motor, then you should be licensed.
Yes.
Period. If
And
there's
you
a
shouldn't
motor,
be in
I
the
don't
bike
care how
lane.
fast. If you have a motor, you should have some sort of license to it. There's also lots of arguments about, cyclists. Absolutely, some cyclists don't follow the rules, whatever. They can be dangerous. But these e-bikes and regular cyclists, it's not a good mix. It's very dangerous.
I heard just last night that there was a group of e-bikes that caught fire in an underground parking garage.
Yeah. Well, that happened on the TTC a couple of months ago where a brand new TTC car went up in flames because one of the batteries caught fire. So that's my rant.
We are off to a great start today.
We're
Very
feisty. We're
feisty.
fired up. Are you ready, listeners?
Are you ready for it? Boom, boom, boom.
And there it is. She slid that in there.
The countdown begins.
Yeah.
The countdown begins.
I got to tell you, I know you're my friend, and I do love you very much.
You're angry at me.
I'm not angry. I'm disappointed that you're going to be seeing her before.
What could I do?
Pick a different day.
We picked the day that the tickets were not $17,000 each.
Yeah, well, I'm still disappointed. It's going to be not the same because you will have already seen everything.
We went to see the concert movie together.
I know, but this is going to be you're going the night before the concert,
Mike,
and then you're going to go again.
Instead of being happy for me that I actually get to see her twice, and by the way, you went to see her with your sister. You didn't even ask me if I wanted to go last time she came. I can't even believe you.
Oh, this
and
is
now you
not
have
a
the
tit
gall?
for tat.
Oh, well, yes, it is.
So
that was years ago, and I swallowed my anger.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like you've really let that one go.
It's coming back out like a big burp.
Well, I just wanted to share with you. I mean, you're entitled to be upset about 1989 concert tour, and that's fine. But, I just think it's
Did you also see her Reputation tour?
Pretty shifty. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Good for you. Yeah. Listen, as mad as you are at me, I can't even...
I'm not mad.
Oh, my God.
I said I'm just disappointed.
Disappointment is another word for anger. It's a different kind of anger.
No. Listen, I'm disappointed because I thought the experience was going to be that when the four of us go to this concert, we will all be experiencing it together. Yeah. And while we will be experiencing it together, there will be 9 hours or something between the time that you last saw it.
Do you think my
memory
exuberance for this event is going to at all diminish
Well,
by
hopefully
the fact
most
that
of
I've
the
seen.
squealing had been done the night before.
Well, you know,
Your
yeah,
voice
I'm
might
going
be
with
gone.
my 14-year-old goddaughter. I mean, it's going to be a completely different experience, but I'm going to be, if anything, more psyched to see it again.
Because you'll be with some old people.
I'll be with some people my own age, and she's like, okay, Auntie Priya, we have to decide like what songs do you want to videotape and what songs will I be videotaping. And I'm like, no, you can videotape whatever you want. I'll be watching the concert.
Yeah.
Don't rely on me to videotape things. I'm not. That's not my job. I'm here to enjoy it.
Okay,
move
so
on, guys.
let's move on. So I was in charge of this episode.
Yeah, what do you got for us? What do
I
you
know.
got?
Okay, so there's something else. So Priya, listeners, at the time of recording, Priya has been on my ass about watching a TV show.
You goddamn better have watched it
She sends me texts
all the time.
all the time. She's like, you have to watch this show. You have to watch this show. And I have seen advertisements for it, but
Yes.
and I don't really watch TV that much. But I
know,
thought,
you're
okay,
so
I'm gonna
crazy.
I'm gonna.
Who doesn't watch TV? What kind of a weirdo are you?
Well, I'm busy. I got stuff.
What? Doing what?
I have lots of stuff.
What do you do every evening when you're at home? You're surfing on your phone.
No.
Porn?
No, not porn. And it's not my phone. It's my iPad.
Oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
No,
Continue.
okay. So I started watching the show, and the
Yes.
show is The English Teacher
Yes.
for our listeners that are wondering, and if they watch it themselves. So I've watched a couple of episodes. It is very funny.
Yeah.
I am shocked that they can get away with this on TV.
I know.
When I think about the kind of shows that we watched
Yeah.
when we were younger,
Well, but think about like
they do the
Will and Grace.
F-bomb.
Okay, yes.
Will and Grace was a lot of innuendo. This
Like-
is like...
Oh, I know. They swear a
Blatant.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not offended by it or anything. It is quite funny. And I love how the main character, he wrote it, right? Like,
Yes,
this
he
is his
writes,
show.
He created, writes, and I
Speaking of Will and Grace, he was on
he
Will
was
and Grace.
on the revamp.
He was
do you call it?
Jack's fiance.
Yes.
With
the accent.
The accent.
And the
yeah.
lisp.
Yeah.
He had a nice lisp.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's so funny, and it's so well written. Like, it's so fast.
Yeah.
This show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really impressed by the fact that he created and wrote it all.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
like
great.
it?
I do. I do really like it. I like it so far. Although the last episode I saw was the prom, and
Okay.
I thought it was like, okay, this is a bit, choppy or something. I don't know. There was something a little odd. His character arc has certainly escalated from being kind of a lovable guy to he seems kind of crazy.
I mean, he's a bit neurotic, aren't
Yeah.
we all?
Yeah, I guess we are.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No,
Don't get me started.
I am about as neurotic as the rest of them. Oh, don't you?
That's
me.
what I'm saying. Hey, I'm neurotic too, but like,
Yeah, we're not going to be spilling that tea on this podcast.
no, we're not. But can I also say, like, the musical choices in that show are fantastic.
And that is what it has inspired this episode.
Yes.
So this episode is about soundtracks.
Okay. Oh my God, we could do a whole series on that.
I know.
We should.
The music right from the get-go,
Yep.
whoever is in charge of music for that show is doing an amazing
I
job.
know.
But have you noticed that a lot of the music is from the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so as I was listening to music, I'm like, oh yeah, this song. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I am the warrior.
I know.
Uh-oh. Air conditioner just
Sorry,
kicked in.
that's just my.
I'm gonna
got
just
a
go
little bit
turn
of
that
gas. Yeah. Well, we can just. Oh well, we can just cut. Yeah.
I thought that I turned it off. It's because we're heating up in here.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm getting so excited about
I know.
this episode because soundtracks. So if you so first of all, there's the 80s.
Yes.
And second of all, soundtracks. When I think of the 80s, there are some really good soundtracks from the 80s. So, what are your favorite soundtracks?
Oh my God. Do you mean like from TV shows?
Anything.
Or from like movies?
Anything.
Oh gosh, that's so hard to think of off the top of my head, but like it makes me think of all the movies like Pretty in Pink, and like who did those movies? There's one guy who
John.
Yes, that person. But he did Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club. Didn't he do Breakfast Club too? Like all those like Breakfast Club soundtrack.
16 Candles. Did you say 16
Yeah.
Candles? Yeah.
Oh, I loved all of those movies, and the music in all of them is
Yeah.
just
So
it just takes me back when I hear those songs.
yeah, so what is it about the '80s and '80s music? Is it because we grew
I
up
think
in
so.
that time?
I think so, because whenever you ask anybody else, like whenever the 80s come up in certain circles, people are like, oh, the 80s had the worst music.
What?
I know.
That is impossible. That is just wrong.
Yeah, because you think of
John
people
Hughes.
like John Hughes, that's it. He did all those movies. And if the younger generations haven't seen those movies, I think they're timeless. Like, obviously, watching them, the fashion and stuff will be dated. But
Oh, yeah.
you watch The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, all of the themes around them totally
Yeah.
resonate. Yeah.
Oh, my God. They're so good. All the characters, too. Although they're now a bit, not the most PC, but they're still funny. So funny.
PC is a bit overrated,
It's
though.
so overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, so people complain about the 80s, but when you think of some of the artists, like Michael Jackson, okay, problematic in his own way, Duran Duran, The Police, Janet Jackson, I mean, all the, Guns N' Roses and all the great, like, hair metal or all that kind of stuff that came out.
ZZ Top.
Depeche Mode, The Cure, The Cult, like all those. How can you say that the 80s were a time of bad music? And then I think of all the terrible songs that came out of the 80s.
Well, yeah, but let's.
Hear you talking in your sleep or something. There was a song that's basically about a stalker. I see you talking in your sleep or something. Is it some weird songs from the 80s?
There are some, but the soundtracks are these amazing compilations of songs that really connect with particular moments in the movies. Right. And when we're watching the movies and we're, like connecting with the characters or perhaps, something that they're showing in the film, and then they play those songs, and sometimes it's so subtle.
Yeah.
Like the music, it's like, the music's there, but then all of a sudden you kind of internalize it because then it becomes that music kind of connects with your experiences that are similar to what's being shown in the films, right?
Yeah. Well, what are some of yours? Because you've had some time to think about this. So
yeah. So so the
and completely gone out. Did you not write it down? You have a
no.
script.
It's just when I just said I was just thinking about how many times I say when we're recording. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I just did it again. Soundtracks that stand out for me. So. Dirty Dancing.
I was going to say that one.
That is such. First of all, I love Dirty Dancing. That movie is such a great movie.
In general, you like to dirty dance, you mean?
I do. Well, not that much anymore. It is kind of funny. When was the last time you went out dancing?
No, forever.
Yeah.
I really miss dancing.
Yeah. So I dance in my kitchen when I've got the music on, or
same.
when I'm in the basement, ironing clothes or something like that. I haven't been out dancing in so long. I went to a friend of mine invited me out. Him and some other friends were going out to this event at the Black Eagle. Happens once a month, I think, called Grapefruit, and it's like a pop music kind of dance party sort of thing
I'm
with
gonna
a
write that down,
DJ.
'cause I want to go.
Well, Black Eagle's a bit. But you can go. Girls are allowed in, but it's a gay bar for men, and it can be kind of dirty and raunchy.
But do they let the ladies?
They let the ladies in, and so last time we went, he was with this friend from his gym who's younger, and this friend of mine is 10 years younger than me. And as we're at this bar and we're talking, there's this, steady flow of guys that are walking by and saying hello. And I was like completely invisible. Oh. And it's not like I'm going out to meet anyone or, I'm married and I'm happily married and I'm happy with all of that. But when you go out and these young guys don't even acknowledge you, not even a head nod, not even like,
like so.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Or a handshake or an introduction, nothing.
Right.
And I was like, okay, first of all, I'm feeling a bit awkward because I haven't been out dancing in a long time. So it's like, I don't know. It does kind of take a while to get warmed up sort of thing. Second of all, you're feeling like I was feeling out of place because I felt like I was this old man, and the demographic of the people there at this bar is a really good mix. Like it is people in their 50s and, like people in their 30s and 40s and 50s. Yeah. So it's not like I was like, totally out. But anyways, wasn't that enjoyable of an experience. And I'm not that inspired to go out again because it's like, what am I,
Because of that?
Yeah, kind of like that. I kind of feel like I've outgrown it.
You know what? I think sorry to bring it back to Taylor, but Mike has invited us to his place to make bracelets for the concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
okay.
love to joke and talk about how Priya is so obsessed with Taylor, and yet it was his idea
I know.
to have a bracelet making party, and I bet you we're going to dance our asses off that night.
Oh, yeah, sure. But that's like in our home.
I know. I would go out dancing if I knew where the fuck to go.
I know.
Like, I just don't.
I'm not interested in going to like these young clubs or anything like that.
They have taken over everywhere. They are like cockroaches. No offense, young people.
Oh, young
the
people?
young people.
Oh.
You have taken over everywhere.
I have a feeling that people that were our age 15, 20 years ago where they would say the same thing
Well,
about us.
but like, there used to be places like the Gladstone or like this, the Eagle or Grapefruit, whatever, where it was like a good mix of people, right? Like maybe people 30 and over. But now I just feel like anytime I do go out, and I haven't tried to go out dancing in a long time, but anytime I go out to Ossington or something that's a popular strip,
Yeah.
like most of the time
I'm
see
not really
people
into the vibe.
to Ossington.
In the evening, no. It's
it's-
all a bit douchey.
Oh, I don't find it too douchey. I find it kind of more hipstery.
Yeah.
Over there.
Is there a
Which
difference?
I don't mind. Oh, we're really isolating our
I don't
younger
know.
audience
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Well, if you are younger and you're listening, apologies.
Nobody's listening.
Yeah.
No younger people are listening.
No, they're listening
By
to
the way,
something else.
speaking of younger people, your nephew
George.
came over and helped me out with it.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
He's amazing. First
He
of
is
all,
amazing.
what a coincidence. I had the power go out in half my unit. Okay.
Oh.
It was very strange. Some rooms the lights were working. Some rooms the lights were not working. Some outlets were working. Some outlets weren't working. One outlet right on top of the other was working, and the other one on the bottom was not working.
Oh, that
Very
does not
strange.
sound good.
No, so he found it was a faulty fuse. So he had
Okay.
to replace the whole fuse. Anyways, it was such a coincidence that Mike's nephew, moved in
Oh yeah, he lives just
Like-
around the corner, right?
literally half a block
Yeah.
away from me.
Yeah.
And we bumped into each other about a month ago walking our dogs. And I was like, clocked it. I was like, anytime I need an electrician.
Yeah.
And then
Right in
came
the
in
hood.
handy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
And he
Love
looks a lot
George.
like you.
It's funny.
Yes.
Other people have said that, but I
Yes.
think it's because we both have ginger beards.
No, it's certain things
He has
when he's
thick
talking.
auburn hair.
He
I am
does.
bald.
It's in your face, like when he's talking and certain expressions. Just I'm like, oh, wait, there's Mike. Yeah, it was really cute.
I love George to bits.
Oh, he's such a sweetheart, and his little dog is so cute.
Oh, I know. Yeah, she is.
Okay, back to the episode.
Okay,
please.
so yes, with soundtracks, so
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing, definitely up there on my
Yes.
list. Pretty in Pink, which you already mentioned, but
Yeah.
I played that. I had a Pretty in Pink soundtrack, and it was a pink.
Keep going.
That's
I'm trying to think of
Breakfast
the song.
Club.
No.
Oh, John. That's John.
That's John Cusack in the-
Cusack in.
Say something. Say something.
No,
Say-
no.
There's this movie where there's such a famous scene where he's holding this jukebox
The jukebox. Yeah.
above his head. Oh, that movie also had a great soundtrack.
I'm
While
just-
you're looking that up, I'm thinking of a more recent movie that had amazing soundtracks, like a series of movies.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you find it?
No. But go ahead.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Because
my
they do
Lord.
play. Yeah, I haven't seen the film, but I know.
There's 3 films.
Yeah.
And everyone has, oh my God, so out of touch. And every one of them has, honestly, like the best soundtrack. You know who else?
The Sure Thing.
No, it's
No.
Say Something or Say
Oh,
Anything.
say anything. Say anything. Yeah.
Say Something is a song by Christina Aguilera and somebody else. You know
Yeah.
that song?
Say anything.
Yeah,
No.
okay. You don't know that song?
Which
it's
one?
Say Something, I'm Giving Up
Oh,
on
yeah.
You. That song's
Yeah.
so beautiful. But
Who sang that?
Christina Aguilera. She teamed up with the duo that was singing it because she loved it so much, so
Oh.
they re-recorded it all together.
Have you seen photos of her lately online?
No.
She has lost so much weight.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So does she look like Genie in a Bottle era, or what's happening?
Yeah.
She was a skinny Binny.
Yeah. She's a skinny Minnie now. There's Ozempic.
Oh well, yeah. So is Kelly Clarkson.
Yes,
She looks
that's right.
great,
Yeah.
but-
I wonder like what the long-term effects of that is going to be on all these people.
We don't need to get into that.
It's true.
We're all going to get cancer at some point.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, uplifting episode here. We are angry. We're doomed.
Just like, we're all doomed. There's
But,
nowhere to go but down from here.
You mentioned a soundtrack
Mm-hmm.
in a previous episode, and we both love that.
Yes. The other one that just came to my mind is Stranger Things.
No, but that's not the soundtrack I was just referencing.
Oh, which one was I talking about?
The Gaga one.
Yes,
Born.
we talked about Star is Born
Yeah.
and La La Land
La La Land, yes, that's
and
another
The
one on
Greatest
my
Showman.
list.
But those are slightly different because those are musicals where the songs are kind of within the movie.
Within the movie, yeah.
But the soundtracks, yeah, these are some good ones. And like, think of how Stranger Things totally revived Kate Bush's.
Kate running up that hill.
And
yeah.
honestly, I think I loved that song more this time around. Like, I was aware of it, obviously, in the 80s.
Did you watch that show, Stranger Things? Do you know the episode where that song was played?
Yeah, it's played throughout the season, but it's very integral to one character's arc.
And what is it?
Well, I can't spoil.
Oh, people are...
She uses that song as sort of a tie to the real world to get her out of the underworld, let's just say.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about the show, so that makes like no sense to me.
Slight tangent. It's funny that you bring that up because I mean, one of the reasons I'm going to see Taylor Swift with my goddaughter is because I love Taylor Swift and her parents know nothing about the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we know she has talent. We think she's a great role model and all, but we don't know her music. And having been in the film and TV industry for such a long time, like I keep up with a lot of pop culture. I watch all the TV shows. I watch all the movies, and I really keep up. And I feel like it kind of keeps me young in a way.
Current.
Relevant. And so I can, maybe not me being relevant, but I can relate to the younger people in my life. So Stranger Things, yeah, I did watch it and I am very up on it because I'm hip.
Well, that was a show apparently that I had read had a really good soundtrack.
It did. It does, yeah.
So what do you think it is about soundtracks that make such an impact and others that don't?
That's a good question. And others that don't?
Well, what is it about a soundtrack that really connects or resonates with you versus... Because you watch a lot of movies and a lot of television and... Not all of them.
And not all soundtracks pop.
Yeah.
They don't. And I think it's, you know what? And both could be a good thing. Mm-hmm. Like when a soundtrack doesn't pop, that doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't chosen the best songs. It just means that those songs kind of become seamlessly part of the storytelling. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of great shows, for example, Grey's Anatomy, when it first came out, it launched a lot of musical careers because they would play like during the end credits.
Right.
They would play a certain song. And so
I think that inspired me to buy a CD of
Well,
theirs.
that was like 20 years ago. Think how long that show's been on. And so and there were shows like that
they
would
totally
kind of
jumped
launch.
The shark, that show. I can't believe
like 10
it was
years ago.
Yeah.
It's still on.
No.
It's still on.
Really?
Yes. I don't watch it, but Meredith is still on. I think Scott Speedman, Canadian, is on that show now.
You know, I bumped into him once, eh?
Did you? I interviewed him once.
Actually, I bumped into him twice. First time was on Queen Street, where we used to work. I was walking down the sidewalk, and he was coming out of a convenience store.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where I was walking, and he came out, and he just kind of like bumped right into me. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then you're so close, you don't really
even
register.
know
And then it was like, oh, my God, you're...
Yeah.
And then the second time was at a restaurant during TIFF.
You know what's funny about him is I bumped into him. No, I saw him once. I interviewed him once for a Canadian movie he was in, but I saw him once walking around downtown, and I don't know why I was there for a while. I might have been having a coffee inside, so I could see him. He was kind of doing loops.
Oh.
And he had like headphones on.
Oh.
And so he's just kind of like, I kept seeing him pass by.
Rehearsing his lines or something?
No. And then, strangely enough, I heard him in an interview shortly after that, and he was talking about how he likes to just listen to music and walk downtown. Like he just will walk and just listen to music.
That's his way of decompressing, maybe?
Yeah.
Or something?
And I thought that was so cool.
Does he still live in Toronto?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Did you ever sleep with him?
No. And also, even if I had, would I ever say that on the air?
I don't know.
I haven't. Maybe
I guess not.
I would never
People
say it.
don't really say
but
that.
I would say it.
Yeah.
But
you
I
would tell me.
Yeah, I would tell you, but no, I haven't. I haven't slept with anybody famous.
Really?
Who?
I don't know.
No.
I'm surprised all those fancy circles.
No, I've interviewed some fun people, but no.
Interviewed?
Yeah. I mean, I slept with a director that I interviewed at TIFF once, but We worked together for a time, and I'm never going to say who it was, but I actually slept with him twice, and he was terrible both times. First time.
Now I want to know who.
First time he had a dislocated shoulder, so that was his excuse, and I forgave him for it. And then the second time, I was like, "Oh no, you're just a bad lay."
Oh no.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving back to soundtracks. What would be the soundtrack of that movie or that story?
I don't know.
Do you have your own soundtrack?
Like that I play for sexy times? What do you mean?
Yeah, sure.
You know, I think we should do an episode on that too, because there are lots of
Okay.
songs that are really sexy,
I don't know. We don't.
but I don't
mind.
think I have a play. Oh, what?
No, I was going to
Do you have
say,
a
I don't
song?
know. No, it's
Do you
just.
have a boom boom song?
No, the thing is, I was just thinking, we don't put music on when we have our fun times.
Oh.
Like, so,
Oh.
but, you know, there's.
You just like to hear the smacking sound?
Oh, stop. Okay, back to soundtracks, other soundtracks. You're crazy. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Do you have a soundtrack to your life?
Oh my God. Like if I had to come up with a list
Yeah.
of songs, you know, I think we should actually do that. We should come up with a list of songs.
Okay.
And then
So next episode, let's do that. We'll come back and we will.
maybe not next episode, some episode, because I
Some-
have to give that a lot of thought.
Okay.
I did in a recent episode talk about sort of one song that if I had to, remember, just talk about how it related to my life in general. And that was Taking the Long Way by the
Oh,
Dixie
yeah.
Chicks.
Yeah.
Or the Chicks, as they are now called. I don't know why they took out the Dixie.
Because of the connotations
I
to
guess.
the.
Oh, to the flag or something? To the Confederate flag or something?
That and its connection to slavery and
Okay.
the problematic issues and how the South.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all that PC stuff that you
All
keep
right. Well,
saying.
I mean, it makes sense, but the Chicks does sound like it's a weird band name, I think. The
Yeah.
Chicks.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known if you didn't.
Yeah, maybe
You think
not.
it should be-
I guess because I think of like baby chickens, but it could just be the girls, like the chicks. I get it. Okay, it's a double entendre.
Yeah.
I do want to make a soundtrack to my life. I don't know what would be on that.
Okay, so for an episode, let's come back
Yeah.
and okay, listeners,
Yes.
I want to hear. I want to we want to know what your soundtrack to your life would be,
Yes.
and yeah,
Like,
based on
what's the playlist that
what's
tells the story
playlist
of your
that tells
life?
the story of your life. Yes,
And how many songs? Like you could have between 5 and 10 songs because
Yeah.
it's very hard to narrow it down.
yeah, and so listeners, send in your playlist and give us a brief explanation as to why.
Perfect.
Maybe like you can pick a story that's related to one of those songs.
Yes, or
Yeah.
or a little memory related to each one of the songs.
Yeah.
I'd love
I'm
that.
going to tell you a memory about Dirty Dancing. This is
Oh,
one of the
okay.
reasons why I love the soundtrack. So Dirty Dancing came out in the 80s. I think it was 87 or 86, 87. And I went on a double date with... So remember I was telling you about that guy that showed up to my dad's funeral?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So he and we went on a double date.
Okay.
Although I don't think I was really on the date. He was definitely on the date.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought her friend. And so we four of us, we went to see Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
And the ladies wanted to see this film. And
Of course.
so we were like, yeah, okay. I was not really interested at all in seeing this film.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this film. They did not like it.
The girls?
No. And my friend, he did not like it. So I know I was really surprised.
How is that even possible?
But what happened was that summer we were working summer camps. And so we were, we would do our day camps. Like, we had a camp partner. We would run these day camps at different schools and parks around the city. And then in the evenings, we would social. Like it was going drinking, and weekends we'd go camping. And so it was
fun.
so much fun. We had like the most amazing summers doing that. And that soundtrack became one of the soundtracks of our summer. So when I hear songs from Dirty Dancing, it not just brings back memories of the movie, which I loved, but it also takes me back to that summer
whole
where it
summer.
was like an integral soundtrack to that summer.
Right.
So there was that soundtrack. George Michael's Faith album.
Yeah.
That was the other one. And I think we went to see George Michael in that concert as well that summer. And In Excess. Those were the 3 albums of that summer. Like, let me tell you, we played those endlessly. And we spent a lot. I think that summer I spent 3 nights at home. That's
Wow.
it. Because We were
So
out
fun.
all the time. It was so much fun.
Oh my God, I forgot about In Excess. Man, they had some good songs.
Oh, yeah. They were great.
And when you think about that summer. Yep. Oh my God. Never say goodbye.
No. Never tear us apart.
That's it.
That was close, though.
All right.
You got
well,
the never.
I got one word right out of the three.
Never say goodbye or tear us apart or something.
Something like that. But when you're thinking about that summer, because Dirty Dancing is all about a whole summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And all the fun that's had at
Yeah.
that summer camp. So I can see how that would relate. Oh,
Nobody
man.
puts baby in a corner.
I know. And I carried a watermelon. And if you listeners don't know what those lines refer to, you
have to see that film.
movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is, again, one of those movies that obviously looking at it will be dated, but it is, I think, timeless. It's timeless.
Patrick Swayze.
Oh, woo,
Dreamboat.
I need a fan.
Yeah.
All right.
And what was her name?
Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey before the nose job.
Yes, and that destroyed her career.
Yeah.
Having the nose job destroyed her career.
Don't do it, Priya.
I'd still do it. If I had just $5,000 laying around, I would do it.
Is that how much it would cost?
I think it's about there. Like, I don't know
Really?
if prices have gone down, but I feel like who's going to do a nose job for $300? Like, it's got to be expensive, right? So,
All right. Well, that's
note,
the episode.
we would love to hear your the soundtracks, the playlists, the mixtapes to your lives.
Yeah.
And tell us the stories that go along with some of those songs. And you can do that by DMing us on Instagram at The Little Podcast. Again, that's the LIITL podcast. Or send us an email the old-fashioned way, to lifeisinthelyrics@gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, Priya.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to you all.
See you next episode.
Okay, bye.